Hello, 106. This tutorial is how to do the easy planets and stars for the first week. So I'll just run this little demo here, creating something similar to what you're seeing here. Okay, so let's start from scratch. So make a new composition, and let's call this planets and stars. Make sure it's HD 1920 by 1080, 24 frames per second, full resolution, and your duration should be 15 seconds, and the background color of black is good. All right, under your in your layer menu, new solid, and I'm just going to call this planet 1, and you can choose any color you want. And then I'm just going to make it the same comp size as my artboard. Okay, so over here under your effects and presets, you want to set this up so that it's pretty similar to this. So the first one is fractal noise. So under the search tab under here, you can just type fractal. And it's under noise and grain, so drag that on top of here. And then the fractal type, you want to change to dynamic. And then for the overflow, change that to soft clamp. And you can leave the rest of this the same. The next effect I want is CC sphere. That's under perspective. Drag that here. And that now is going to give you the first planet. Now, under the settings for CC sphere, you can make the planet bigger or smaller with the radius. You can change the light settings here, which I would recommend doing, to a different color. And you can also play around with the light direction, the amount, and the intensity. So I'll leave those up to you. Now it's also important to begin to rotate this thing. And so what I'm going to do on the y-axis is start it just at 0 in my first frame. So I'm going to key that. And then I'll push this all the way to the end of my timeline, and I'll add just a couple of rotations in there. Yeah, that looks good. And then just check it to make sure that it's rotating. Oops, I forgot to see if that was keyframing it. It looks like it did not, so let me do that. Oops, I think I was rotating it on the x-axis. That's what happens. So just make sure that's 0, and then your y-axis, make sure that it's doing some rotation. Okay. So in addition to that, though, I also want, well, I'll do that at the end. Okay. So I'm going to add a new solid and put it below this for the stars effect. So go to my layer, new solid. Call this stars. Again, you can choose a color that you want. I would do something light. Make it the comp size, okay. And then put that below the planet. And so I'm looking at this layer now, and the effect I want is CC star burst. So I'm just going to type in star burst. There it is. Put that on my stars layer. And this is where you can adjust the scatter, the speed at which everything is kind of coming at you. And these, again, you can dial these in after the fact. And you can also do the phase of these, so you can kind of see what that's going to do in my timeline. And in addition to that, I also want to put a blur on here. So I'll just type in blur. I think it was a radial blur or fastbox blur. Let me go back over here. Yeah, fastbox blur. So I'll drag that to my stars layer. And then under the blur radius, you can drag this up and kind of figure out if you want that to be in these settings here. So I just want to play that real quick. And you can always kind of adjust these as you see fit. So that looks pretty good, but I think they're kind of going too fast. I'm going to slow them down. Also adjust the scatter, maybe my spacing too. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so that is the first planet. So let's make a second planet. Since you've already created the first one, I'm just going to duplicate this layer. So I'm just going to copy that and then paste it. Rename it, call it Planet 2, and then in the Planet 2 settings, I'm going to go up and look at the radius of this, and let me push it over to the left here, and then for my lighting, I'm going to change that to a different color. And then just verify that these are good to go. What I would suggest doing too is and change the intensity of these a little bit. You don't want to play around with the direction because depending where the light source is coming from. But you can also, play around with the intensity of it. Okay. Now I want these to be passing in front of one another. So I'll start with this bigger planet first. And so let me roll my timeline back to my first frame. Transform. And then I'll drag the position of this off to the left side of my screen. And I'll key that. And then I'll go to the end of my timeline. And then I will increase this. I think I'm also going to make it kind of go down and over. So it kind of has like this motion path here, and then key that. Just kind of keep it going up. And then push it off to the edge this way. So I'll roll that back. Looks like this one needs to be pushed back even further. Push play to check this out. This one's going to go in front of the other planet. And what I also might suggest you do is on the rotation properties here, either speed it up or slow it down. So I'll start here with my rotation at 0, but then when I get to the end over here, I'm going to have that just be kind of going in this direction. And that'll just give it more contrast. It looks like for my position, I need to fix that too. So just push this off. Okay, so let's check that out. Keeps going back here for some reason, so just fix that. Cool. Now I want to have the other planet, the green planet in this case, kind of doing the opposite of this direction. So let me pause this, and I'll go back to first planet, and I'm going to rename this Green Planet. Okay. Zoom out. And in this one, I'm going to have the green planet starting from the right side of the screen. Oh, here we go. So let me push this one to the right. And I think I'm going to have it come in kind of from the top corner. And then key that out, go to the end of my timeline, and then bring it back over here. Let's kind of get it from there to there. So let's play that out and see how we're looking. It's looking pretty good. Not really liking the size of the green planet though, so I'm going to scale that down a little bit. So let me bring it into view. And then go to my scale. Yeah, I like that better. And then if you don't like the way that the big one is passing in front of the other one, there's an easy fix for that. So just twirl everything up so you just have your layers twirled up. And then I can just click and drag this to the top. Run this back to the beginning. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, there you go. Easy planets and stars. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.